everyone, and thank you for joining us here on Variant Roles for the launch of a brand new streaming game that we are calling MCG Mixtape, as we highlight all things Monty Cook games and start out with, of course, my favorite and many of your favorites Monty Cook games product, Invisible Sun. So thank you for joining. I am your game master and host, Dan Gaston, at MadSideEM on Twitter, and I use he, him pronouns. And I am going to kick it over to some familiar faces to introduce themselves and tell us the character that they are playing tonight. Introduce using your character sentence. And I'm going to start in the upper left with Taryn. Taryn, how you doing?
I'll be good if I can click off the mute button. Yeah, as Dan said, I'm Taryn. He, him pronouns. Find me at Tarzan Nosy on Twitter. I totally forgot what you told us to say like instantly as soon as you kicked over to me. I'm totally professional. I've done this plenty of times. But yeah. So my character sentence is a bizarre. I covered it with my phone. I am sorry. I'm really excited to play Invisible Sun. I'm a bizarre empath goetic who hosts a legion, or properly I should say we are, named Sweets.
Excellent. I am excited, and I'm sure we will find out more about Sweets momentarily. I'm going to keep us going around the circle and toss it over to Alexis.
I'm so nervous. I'm so excited. I'm Alexis. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Telserina. She is let me pull up my sentence, an aromatic empath weaver who speaks with the moon. And what else am I supposed to say? I'm sorry.
No, I think that's good. I think you covered it.
Yeah.
And we'll find out a bit more about what all those things mean with our various characters as we get going. Oh, and I just realized. There we go. All right, and continuing around in the lower right, it's Matthew.
Hey, that's me. I am Matthew Foreman. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm gonna be playing Nigel. He's a bizarre stoic Vance who consorts with demons. I kind of got a thing for him, you know. I'm very excited to be here, even though I only got one arm.
Excellent. I am excited to pick back up with Nigel. And we'll find out for folks who didn't necessarily see the last stream that Nigel was on, or the aftermath, or see on Twitter. Alice from our Saturday night game cut off Nigel's right arm or left arm? Right arm. Excellent.
My right arm.
This should be good. All right, continuing around, last but not least, we have Anders. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm very nervous, but excited. Really super excited. I'm Anders. I use he, him pronouns, but today I'm going to be playing Key, who is a stoic or a connected stoic apostate who caught Fire's eye, and they are gender fluid. So tonight they are feeling she, her pronouns.
Excellent. So as I was telling my players off stream, always learning new characters and making sure we get all the pronouns right is important. So I always remind people to prod me if I mess them up, because I'm just trying to learn everybody's characters and get going. And I'm super excited. All these people sound very interesting. So you are all Vislae, workers of magic in the actuality, in Satyrine, the biggest and largest town in all of reality, or at least so those in Satyrine claim. And we are in Fartown, a district of perpetual fall, leaves constantly falling from the trees, always a little bit brisk and cool in the air. And Fartown is almost a realm of existence all of its own. It's a half-world, sort of only connected through a single archway that connects to the rest of the city of Satyrine, and is otherwise kept somewhat separate, probably because it's mostly Vislae who live there, and you guys get up to some weird and dangerous stuff. You've all recently, or at least somewhat recently, returned from your exile, your hiding in shadow after the war, and no one talks about the war. But you find yourself back in Saturnine, living in an apartment complex in Firetown. And we need a name for this apartment complex. This is one of the things we haven't done. So this is a bit unusual for a first game for Invisible Sun, which is very character driven. But we've been offlining our character creation and coming up with some cool ideas and people's characters. But we do not have a name for this building of like shops and apartments in Firetown. Anyone have any ideas? Keeping in mind that, as people will discover, there's a little bit of a theme of some shows that we're riffing on a little bit for some inspiration here. Maybe something simple like Indigo Towers.
Indigo Towers. Yeah. Or Autumn Run. Autumn Run Apartments.
Autumn Run Apartments. Okay, I like it. All right.
I like that. It sounds like a candle.
It does sound like a candle. So Autumn Run Apartments, and it's a complex. It's like shops on the ground floor, and there's a central courtyard that has a number of ancient trees in it, forming what is apparently an old grove of suspected religious significance, which I am sure will come into play later. And Matthew, remind me, did we give a name for the club where your house is?
Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions. All right. So Cruel Intentions is a X-rated club in Firetown. And Nigel lives in, if I remember correct, a bucolic like hamlet, like a farmer's cottage on a green hill that is in a painting that is hanging on, is it the bathroom wall?
Yeah. You know, kind of just above the glory hole.
Yep. In Cruel Intentions. All right. So that is where Nigel lives in this place. All right. So continuing around, I know that Sweets also has an interesting abode.
Quite. We have chosen ourselves a location that continues to provide us with interesting exit locales. It might just happen to be Nigel's briefcase.
So Nigel's briefcase, which is usually carried by Nigel or presumably left either somewhere in Cruel Intentions, because I can imagine Nigel occasionally just like forgets it in the bathroom, or his house. So you live inside a briefcase, inside a house that is inside a painting, inside a sex club.
We can go deeper.
we can
go deeper.
Invisible Sun, folks. This is what we get. All right. So Anders with Key. Does Key live in like a relatively, I think, normal apartment?
Well, the outside of Key's apartment looks very, very normal. It's just a regular door with a lock and a doorknob. But if you open it, the inside is covered in wax, and she likes to recreate what the inside of it looks like whenever she feels like it. Changing the furniture, just melting things, rebuilding things. It's an entire wax creation.
Excellent. I love it. This is fantastic. Great. Perfect. All right. And finally, Talserina. Where does Talserina live?
Talserina lives in an old tree in the center of a small grove in the courtyard of this apartment complex. And the tree doesn't appear to be anything other than a tree to most people, but to Talserina, It is much larger on the inside than it has any reason to be. And each sort of it has a handful of layers, and each one is just basically a single room. One kind of at the base, maybe two above, and one down in the root system. And it is home. It does her well, and it keeps her isolated.
Excellent. I love it. Perfect. All right. So we have to deal out some ephemera to you folks. So single-use magic items and simple spells known as incantations that you get randomly in your mind simply by meditating for an hour. And so it comes to you. So incantations are pretty easy to come by. Ephemeral objects, you kind of just find them around quite often. They're simple magical items. Or find them on the course of excursions. So I'm going to deal out some random ones. Nigel already has some. Are you short any, Nigel?
I got 2 incantations and I got 1 item, so I think I'm good.
You're good, yes. Most people are at 3. Okay, so here we go. I've got some. So I'm going to start with Key. Key is a maker, so Key actually gets 4 as long as 2 of them are objects.
Key's an apostate.
Oh, Key is an apostate, right, sorry. Let me pull
Key's
up
not allowed to be a maker anymore.
That's right. That's right. You were a maker. All right. Yes, but you took the extra ephemera.
I did.
That's right. Okay. So, I am giving you ephemera objects, the Pale Potion, and this is level 3. It's a pale white potion. When you drink it, you gain 3 bene to your sorcery pool and 1 bene to physicality.
Okay.
And I'll set these aside. I have a document that I can put the text in your character sheet, but I'll just set these aside so I can remember to do that. All right. And your other object is called the Nous Amulet. So Nous. And I'm writing that down. So this is a level 4 object. It's a brass amulet that lets you access the noosphere. So the noosphere is the realm of the mind that connects all things. Think about it as the internet on steroids and very surreal and inhabited by ghosts. So while it lasts, you can search for a person whose name and general appearance or nature you know and learn their physical location, or send them a message of about 25 words and receive a reply that takes about an hour. So you can basically slide into their slow DMs.
It's email.
Yeah.
Yikes.
All right. And then for incantations, you have Close Your Eyes and Die with the Sun.
Mm. Is that is that 2 incantations or just one very long one?
That is one just long title.
Long.
It's a level 5. You touch a creature. At the moment of the next sunset, they suffer 1 wound.
Okay.
So the way injuries and wounds work in Invisible Sun is normally you can accumulate so many injuries, 3 injuries. If you accumulate 3 injuries, that translates into 1 wound. If you accumulate 3 wounds, you die.
Right.
How many wounds is not having an arm?
Hey,
Good question.
I don't like to talk about it.
How close is Nigel to dying is basically the question.
He healed from that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Your other one is called Never Put Aside Childish Things.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. You create a block of solid wood painted in curious designs 3 feet to a side. You make it appear somewhere nearby that you can see. On the following round, it creates another cube, just 1 inch smaller on each side, right next to it. On the round after that, another cube appears, and so on. This goes on until a 1 inch cube is created, which is always the last.
I love it. It's like a little Russian doll, but it's a ball.
It's a self-replicating boxes. And that one is from the new book, Book M, which I got just recently. So I don't have that in a digital form. But I've got the cards here. All right.
Okay.
So, sweets.
Yes.
All right. So you're a Goetic. You can have 3. Let's start with your incantations.
Okay.
All right. Many are the singular. This is also from Book M.
That's so fitting, you bastard, you.
It is level 4. You cast this incantation on a single object that you can lift in one hand and create 99 identical duplicates that randomly fill a very large area around you. The duplicates are a useless flimflam, but they cannot be revealed as such unless an action is taken to examine each one. Although the duplicates are permanent if left alone, each one crumbles to powder once its nature is revealed. All right, chat's loving these. All right, and your other one, also from Book M, Lyrics of Peace Admonish the Soldier. This is a level 5. You open your mouth and release a war cry so fierce and horrible that it causes all nearby creatures, including you, to turn on each other for 2 rounds. Affected creatures are in a frenzy, inflicting an additional 2 points of damage with each successful attack. When the effect ends, you are healed of 1 anguish or wound.
What was that called again?
Lyrics of Peace Admonish the Soldier. All right. And your ephemeral object is Stalwart Enneagon. Enneagon. It is level 6. A 9-angled amulet. You are better warded against poison, disease, and other afflictions that affect you physically, granting you +2 to related defense rolls. And it's got a depletion of 0. Check each hour.
Okay.
So it means like once you activate it, every hour you'll roll a 10-sided dice, and only if you roll a 0, which on most of your 10-sided dice is actually a 10. 10 will be a 0. It basically stops working and crumbles to dust.
Okay, then.
All right. Talsarina. Here is very appropriate, also from Book M. Let the pale moon sink to rest. Level 5. A 6-inch hole harmlessly appears in your forearm. You may place any single object that you can hold in one hand inside the hole, which is bigger than it appears, which will then seamlessly close up around the object. While inside, the object is impossible to detect, but it may not be activated or used. An ephemera object placed inside the hole does not count against your ephemera limit. Once you remove the item, the hole again disappears, leaving a white circle etched upon your skin.
Okay, can you?
It's called Let the Pale Moon Sink to Rest, and you basically create a secret flesh pocket in your arm.
And an ephemera doesn't count against it.
Yeah, so normally
a limit on how large the item was?
Yeah, because you can only normally carry 3 ephemera.
Right.
As long as you can hold it in one hand. So an object that big.
That's amazing.
That's pretty great. All right.
Ready.
The grasp for something more than power. This is a level 3. The person you touch henceforth grants you more respect than they normally would, offering you +1 to all interactions with them. The target can never be affected by this incantation again.
So single use per person I touch.
It's a single use. You touch it and then it's gone. So you can
Okay.
only use it on one person.
Oh, okay.
And
that's
that
an
person
ephemera,
actually,
yes?
yes, that is an
Okay.
incantation.
Oh, that's an incantation.
Yeah, which is, so ephemera are in 2 groups: ephemera objects and incantations.
Okay.
Both are
okay.
ephemera.
So both of these were incantations. Cool.
Yes, and now I am going to give you a ephemera object. It is called Sparrow's Essence. It's a green potion. You drink it and you become a sparrow. You can fly. You can fly and are small and fast, so it gives you +2 to dodge. If you take even 1 point of damage, you return to normal. Otherwise, it lasts until the sun next sets.
So the best way to turn back intentionally is to fly into a window.
Right. That's right.
Just very bird thing to do.
Or fly into the ground so that way, like, I don't have to fall
window,
afterwards.
Windows.
Windows.
That's actually what all the birds in the gray were doing.
That's right. That makes sense.
They're just trying to turn back into Vislae.
That's right.
All right. So we open.
Flesh pocket. I love
Yes.
this so much.
Flesh
This game is
pocket.
the best.
It really is. I can't believe that this early in the game I got to describe a flesh pocket.
Yeah.
You're in rare form tonight.
I know. The cards are.
He's
with
in
me.
normal form, let's be honest.
Correct.
This is normal Invisible Sun Dan. Not
right.
Dungeon of the Mad Mage Dan. This is VR After Dark, after all. Okay, so the first thing we should do is play the first Sooth card to kick things off. So our viewers, of course, are seeing our wonderful Sooth card. And we have played the Jackal. The Jackal is the nemesis of mysteries. So, what this means, and I just realized I hadn't pulled this up, my little cheat sheet. So you may see on your character sheet, down below, something called Hidden Knowledge, where I've given you a card family, an animal, and an object. So this all comes from your heart. So if you are mysteries, the nemesis is going to affect you more than normal.
That would be me.
Yes. So for everybody, the nemesis means a -1 on all ventures while this card is in play.
Oh.
So the tides of magic are working against you. So you just flat out -1 anything you do to your venture. If you are, if your heart is tied to mysteries, you are at a -2. But Sooth cards will change basically if any significant NPC enters the scene. If anybody takes damage, there's a number of things where we will play a new Sooth card. And of course, if any sort of combat happens, every round we play a new Sooth card. So it's constantly changing. Most often, Sooth cards will affect magic, so they will have a color associated with them. All magical spells, forte abilities, and things like that generally have a color of magic that ties to one of the suns, and one of those will be upped and increased, and one will be decreased in ability. So we will see that as we go through. All right, I gotta rearrange something in my scene here, and we are good to go. All right, so we begin in your local hangout, the cafe known as Nebulous Quirk. So the Nebulous Quirk is an interesting coffee shop, little cafe here in this part of Fartown. It's on the lower level of your apartment building, so it's convenient. You're all neighbors with one another, so even if you're not friends, you're relatively familiar with one another, and often sit and socialize and chat here at Nebulous Quirk. There's occasionally live music because it is Saturnine, so there's a little stage in the corner and people play instruments and provide other music. The food is okay. It's not the best, but, the chef conjures up, a decent plate of food now and then, and he at least springs for some decent emotion leaves to, enhance many of his dishes. Coffee, alcohol, all of that is freely available. And I think, because it seems the most interesting, that this is the day after Nigel's excursion in the Ash Gardens. So this is the first time any of your friends, acquaintances, maybe they're not quite friends, these people that you know have seen you since the incident.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think this is probably like everyone else is already here. Sweets, Telserina, and Key are in the Nebulous Quirk. And Nigel, you're just entering. This is early in the morning. You're actually just getting home. You haven't slept yet.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Thank you for those tee-offs. So yeah, I'm gonna just swagger on in with my cautious shit. I'm gonna swagger on in and just kind of limp around with my bloody stump. And then let's see over to the counter and be like, "Hey, can I get a coffee? And like, for the love of God, I know it's early, but can I get some like fucking whiskey in this coffee?"
So there's a thought form attendant named Gunther who makes decent coffee, and he sees you come in, and he's of course he's not a real person, he's a magical construct, but he converses and interacts like a regular person would, and he just looks down at your arm and says, "Rough night?"
No, I lose my right arm about once every night, so it was just normal Tuesday. Yeah, it's a fucking rough night. Fucking thought form. They should call you a thoughtless form.
All right. Cool. The thought form discrimination there. We'll get you some coffee, and he starts fixing you a cup. And he's like, "Do you want the whiskey in the coffee or alongside?"
In the coffee. Just put it in the coffee.
And he measures out a shot and pours it in. He's definitely giving you bottom shelf whiskey though, and slides it across.
That's fine. I don't mind being bottom shelf. So yeah, I'm gonna take the coffee and I'm gonna swagger on over to my friends who I think are we in the middle of this coffee shop, like on the couches and stuff?
Oh yeah, there's like a long couch with a coffee table, and there's some like comfy armchairs.
Yeah. I'm gonna plot myself down. Well, where's everyone sitting?
I don't know, but I'm sipping some tea and knitting.
I'm sitting in the single chair sort of at the end of the table.
Yeah, there's like two single chairs, one at either end of the coffee table, and then a long couch on one side. And there's no couch facing it. It all faces a window. Sure, it faces a window.
Other people on the other side of the window.
It faces a camera. No.
Yeah.
I'll make room on the couch for Nigel. I'll just sort of scoot over and make a space.
Thanks, love. I'm gonna plop down and be like, "Oh, fuck me." Set my coffee down on the table and just kind of kick back and like, I'm gonna do a little man spreading, all right? Just don't judge me. I'm man spread all over the couch.
Want
We,
to talk about that?
Yeah, we couldn't help but notice your predicament, Nigel.
What you mean? My whiskey and my coffee?
I was referring to your state of limb.
Oh yeah.
Non-existence thereof.
Yeah. So you know how I was telling you, I got that call from that that one lass who said they needed help on the job, sticking it to the you know who.
We remember.
Well, I did my job. I did a good job. I helped them, did my thing, made a couple deals along the way, and I did something with my arm that one of the lasses didn't like too much. So afterwards, we made the deal that she would chop it off. She would chop off my arm and build me like a demon graft. She looked me straight in the eye and promised me. So I let her chop off my arm, and then she turned on the deal.
Listen, you really need to learn about fiduciary responsibilities and make sure that when you go into a deal that everyone's gonna live up to that.
She's the one.
Please go ahead, Nigel.
I was gonna say she's the one who needs to learn about fiduciary responsibility. Who the hell makes a deal, looking someone in the eye, and then turns and runs?
That's what I mean. You got to establish fiduciary responsibility if you're gonna make a deal like that with somebody.
Well, I should have had one of you along, be my fiduciary and such.
Would you require us to accompany you to inquire for recompense?
Here's the thing. She and the lot they travel with, they are not to be fucking trifled with. I've heard some things. I heard they went down in the sewers and took out a fucking assassin. So we're not going to come up against them just yet.
Would you like me to make you a new arm, Nigel?
See, that's what it was. Okay, the one with the big frizzy hair, right? She got all sorts of secrets in it. She was like what you used to be before you got kicked out.
Right, so perhaps I could make you a new arm.
Oh, would you do that for me, Key? Would you do that for me?
Absolutely, darling. It won't do well with I sort of point to the hot cup of coffee. You wouldn't want to hold that with your new arm. It might. But I will do it if you'd like.
It gonna be made of snow or something?
No, wax.
Oh, well. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what I was thinking. I got my arm chopped off, right? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
I don't follow.
Well, I got free real estate.
That's true.
Yeah.
Way to look at the silver lining.
Yeah. So, you know how I've been wanting to look more, Yeah. What if I replaced me regular arm, the missing arm right over here, with and I lean in really close, a demon arm.
Sweet sort of picks up at that.
Yeah.
How do you suggest going about doing that?
Well, I don't know. Sweets?
Sorry, still getting used to the royal way. We just so happen to have a natural draw for our kin. So I don't know what it would look like for me to summon and betray a brethren, but
Perhaps
it's in our nature to make deals and swindle and all sorts of things. So I could see what I could do.
What about you? What about you, Key?
I was just thinking perhaps you could offer your brethren the same deal that was offered to Nigel, but actually with some. What was it called? What was the word you all were using? Fiduciary?
Yeah, fiduciary responsibility.
Perhaps you could come up with some sort of contract and take their arm, and it just gets passed along. Then they're the one without an arm.
Yeah, maybe we could do something like that. What do you think, Sweets? So what if like okay, what if there's like a demon, right? That like one of your how that you're like filled to the brim with demons, mate. And like
We are aware, yes.
yeah. So maybe like one of the thousands of demons inside of you, or like one of your demon bosses or daddies has like a grudge that we can help them solve. Or like a
What?
problem we can help them take care of.
We are particularly attached to any individuals that inhabit this vessel, but we could inquire for something outside of our association.
Yeah, there's thousands of you. You're bound to have a grudge.
We
Listen,
have a few,
what if
yes.
what if we find this mean girl who chopped your arm off? Chop her arm off, feed it to a demon, and get their arm. So you get a demon arm, but we also get revenge.
Listen. I'm not against hurting this girl, but I'm telling you right now, they are some bad motherfuckers. They can do magic. Like shit that none of us can do. So let's get the arm fixed. Me get right and proper, and then we take them on.
We should have at least the same number of limbs as they do for an even conflict.
That's
Perhaps-
where it is.
Perhaps
Or
we
maybe even
collect
more.
More, yes, exactly. We could
Yes.
collect several limbs.
A limb fest.
Yes. What if you just had like multiple limbs out of just the one left
Yeah.
socket?
Yeah, well,
I
like
think
okay,
that could be pretty great.
yeah. So I like how I like all the squids and stuff, and the void, the things that come from the void with the tentacles. I'm into that. So we're like, what if
We're
I had?
painfully aware.
Yeah. So what if I had a tentacle, or maybe more than one?
All where your arm once was.
Yeah.
What if we? That's yes. That seems prudent.
Yeah.
Do you know any demons with tentacles?
We could inquire.
I have no plans today. I think this sounds like a fun way to spend the day. Unless, of course, Nigel, you need to sleep, perhaps.
Dan, do I need to sleep?
Well, I'm assuming you basically slept on the train,
Right.
and it's a little it's not like the crack of dawn. Basically, you slept on the train, and the train doesn't take like 8 hours to get across Saturnine or anything, but you did have to go across the whole city. You can take the train to as far as the Hollows, and then you have to get off on foot and cross through the gate into Fartown, and there's no train in Fartown because it's like an extra dimensional pocket essentially off of this that buds off of the city. So you passed out on the train, and then the train was like sitting at the stop in the Hollows for quite a while, and you got roasted off because they basically thought you were a bum missing an arm.
Right.
And then you stumbled through. So you've slept. You're up. You don't have any wounds. Your pools are back to normal.
Perfect. Thank you. You know what? I'm feeling 100%. I had me a quick stop on the train, slept a bit, got woke up by some bloke that was like, "Hey, get off the train," and now I'm all good.
So this is a fashion choice. Those.
Saying I don't look good.
I'm saying you look tired.
Sweets, how do I look to you, darling?
We say exceptional.
That's all that matters right there. I got 1,000 people hot for me in one little body.
Yes. Good way to look at that.
Oh,
Um,
get out of here, cat. Who lets the cat in the cafe?
smelly cat, smelly cat.
Well, so the cat that sort of hops up onto the table and then like struts across the table, just because it's a cat, like it owns the place.
That's right.
And you never know.
It does on the
Maybe
place.
it does. it is a wrong cat. So it's hairless, and it has its front paws are human-like hands, and it has 6 eyes, and it looks like it has stripes, but the stripes are actually swarming ants that are just continuously crawling over its skin in fixed stripe patterns. And its tail is a centipede.
Sweets is gonna be like,
Hi, Mrs. Kilgast. How are you? I'm
we
naked.
we coax it over to our lab.
It sits there, very pretty,
Just
expecting
gonna
to be
start
fed.
stroking the back of it, running my hands through the ants and stuff.
Oh, there's a cute kitty.
Aw.
We have inclinations for the unnatural.
A wrong cat's relatively normal in Saturnine.
Yeah.
All right. But does it own the place?
Maybe.
Who knows?
You don't know. That's one of the many rumors about Nebulous Quirks, is that the cat actually owns it.
Perfect.
Which, if it does, means that it is probably more than just a wrong cat.
Can its name be Mrs. Kilgast, please?
Absolutely, it's Mrs. Kilgast.
Oh, Mrs. Kilgast.
You're welcome, Matt.
God damn it.
The bleed is real.
Actually, it has 8 eyes.
Oh,
Mm.
God.
Yes.
God.
That's a better
Yes.
number. I like
Yeah,
8 better than 6
It's
anyway
got
on
2, and the
Yeah.
eyes are just like solid black. They don't look like a
Mm.
normal cat eye.
Cat eyes. No.
It's got these 2 big ones here, and then it's got some little, like, it's got a permanently like wrinkled, like concerned looking eyebrows, because there's 2 little
Yes.
eyes underneath the eyebrows. And
It
then it's got-
definitely owns the business.
And then it's
Yeah,
got 4
yeah.
like around the mouth, and its mouth
Oh,
is
yes.
permanently turned down in a frown. Like,
Yeah,
I
she's
love this cat.
unhappy about everything.
Yeah, the restaurant biz will do that to you though. So
That's right. Eat you
That's right.
alive.
That's right.
What time of day did you say it was, basically?
it's like early-ish in the morning to mid-morning. And yeah, the cat's just hunched there, and it's got like its front paws just kind of splayed like this. Its little hands on the table.
front hands. Yeah.
It's front hands. It doesn't have front paws.
Good God.
The
So-
centipede
I
tail
love
is,
it.
is like rising up and like looking, and its little feelers are twitching, and then it just crawls around on the table.
Gross.
Shall we
Amazing.
procure an arm today? We have nothing going on.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
I think arm shopping sounds like a wonderful way to spend today.
Good.
All right. So while you're sitting there, the Mrs. Kilgrass starts getting like kind of twitchy, and looks at the table and goes, "Meow." And you notice the table is jittering a little bit, and Mrs. Kilgrass then like jumps off of it and sort of scurries away and kind of backs up and hisses at the coffee table, as the coffee table suddenly its 4 legs kind of crack up and articulate, and 4 other legs sort of just unfold from the table, which then pushes itself up and scurries around. And I would like to give you all a point of despair.
Would
you
you? Would
can-
you now?
I would. As you bear witness to what is known as a spidering.
Oh, yay! Anything that says spider something, I'm good with.
Yeah. So the coffee table is now moving and like twitching its legs and looking at everyone sort of suspiciously. and this is actually infectious, which is why the cat is like currently scurrying away and getting away from it, because it's quite contagious. And Gunther just yells out, "Ah, the spidering! Get rid of it quickly!"
Oh, fuck.
Perhaps you should touch it, Nigel. Get yourself some new arms.
You know, I never tried this one-handed before. I'm going to start tracing symbols and chanting.
All right. So I am going to have everyone make a movement-related roll. So this is your first challenge that you're rolling against. And it's basically to see which of you go before and which of you go after the spider table. As the spider table is now looking like it's starting to stalk the wrong cat, like it's a giant wolf spider.
All right.
So I'm going to tell you your level here. Your level, the challenge, is an 8. So that's what you're rolling to try and beat. Now, we've got a few things. If any of you have a skill proficiency in running or quick movement or things like that, you can add that to a venture. Otherwise, you can spend a bene from your movement pool to add one to a venture.
I will probably do that.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a bene.
That sounds like a good idea.
Bene.
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 Oh boy. There it is.
I apologize to the entire community.
Tell me about the Vislae, Bene.
Bene.
Goes together like spiders and mirrors, Jenny. All right.
See, I went of monsters and not of monsters, but of mice and men. So,
So did any of you get 8 or higher?
are we rolling the
Or-
non-magic dice?
Yes, you're just rolling your regular dice.
Okay.
So what does a bene do again? Sorry.
It will add 1 to your venture. So effectively the 8 becomes a 7 if you're spending a
All
bene.
right. But we all have a -1 right now from the jackal, yeah?
Actually, good you brought that up.
Hey!
A new one.
Because we
Nigel's
should
actually
draw.
really smart.
We should actually draw a new one. Because spidering is a significant event.
Indeed, it is.
Mm,
What
All
happens if you
right.
deplete a pool?
Nothing.
you die.
I mean, you can't
Dead.
spend any more bene
Have
from it. Yeah, it's not like Cypher in that your pools and health
Awesome.
are not directly related, but you can spend from pools to negate damage.
Okay.
All right. So
This is awesome.
we have played the Looming Shade.
Oh,
Any magic that is
Oh.
color is gray is going to be enhanced right now, and
Okay.
any that is indigo is going to be hindered. The Looming Shade is mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. So what that will effectively mean is if mysteries is your heart, then you will have +1 to your venture as well.
Oh, so instead of -2, it's now a +1.
That's right. And any magic that is gray, you can either choose to have +1 to your venture, or you can subtract 1 from the sorcery cost. And it's the inverse in this case for indigo. So if you're using a spell that's indigo, it's hindered. It either subtracts 1 off your venture, or it costs 1 more sorcery point to do.
How do I know what color weaving spells are?
That is up to me, essentially. And we can negotiate that. So depending on what you're
Sure.
doing, basically whatever fits thematically with any of those colors. Like if it's a nature-y type thing, it makes sense for it to be green. If it's a
Okay.
destructive spell, it should be red. If it's illusion, it should be gray.
Okay.
So illusions would be particularly useful.
Good to know.
And you would know that spidering can only be cured by magic. So you can damage the spider with physical attacks, but you're going to need to use magic to truly get rid of the spidering. All right, so which of you rolled if you spent Bene 7 or higher? No? Okay, so everyone is going to go after the spider, which pounces on the wrong cat and like clobbers it with its front legs. And NPCs were actually just comparing their level, and it's higher level than the wrong cat, so it's beating around the wrong cat at the moment. And Mrs. Kilgrass goes, "Whoa!" and gets kind of knocked backwards. All right, so it's going to be all of you, and you can effectively go in whatever order you like. So you can use your dice rolls to sort yourselves if you want to, or you can just kind of work it out amongst yourself and go in whatever order. Or we can just go around clockwise.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to cast. It's a red spell, so I believe nothing you said earlier matters. I'm going to cast Zara's Bolt of Sorrow. It's a level 2 spell with a +1 die.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. So you spend 2 sorcery points.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you're casting the spell, and what does the spell do?
It's gonna deal damage to. Oop! I closed out of my Adobe thingy. Oh, no, there it is. I crook my arm from a clenched fist, loose a bolt of dark energy. They're gonna take damage equal to the spell's level.
Okay.
If it's a living creature.
Yes. So so it's a level 2 spell, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so your venture is going to start out as the level of the spell, which is 2.
All right.
It's red. You're going to be rolling 2 dice.
All right.
And you can spend an additional sorcery point if you want to increase the venture 1 more.
No.
No. Okay. So you're going to be doing doing a 2.
All right. What? All right. 5 and a 4.
So
roll 2 dice, right?
Yes, you roll 2 dice. So the 5, that's a 7. Then you have just the venture of 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, sorry. You're casting the spell, and this spell is like a bolt, right?
Yeah, bolt with sorrow.
Right. So you can spend Bene from accuracy in this case to add to your venture.
Oh, all right. I got
because
exactly
it's like
1 point
something.
of accuracy. I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so that would make it hit.
All right. So it's gonna take 2 damage then, or
it's gonna take 2 injuries.
2 injuries.
Yeah. So the dark bolt of anguish sort of hits it, and it flinches as bits of it splinter apart.
I'm like, hey, I still got it even with 1 arm.
And the spider's like,
hey, great.
Thanks, I hate it. All right. Which of you wants to go next?
I have an idea.
Absolutely.
I don't want to step on anybody else's toes though. Everybody good?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. I'll go next. I got an idea. So
I would like to try to weave my 2 threads, freedom and moonlight, together, pulling on the qualities from moonlight, deception, and from freedom I would like to weave in sight, to kind of make it so, if this works, that this spider thing doesn't see any of us as enemies.
Okay.
Or doesn't see us at all. I don't know. Something along those lines.
Perfect. All right, so I'm looking at the effects by level. So visual illusion the size of a person is a level 2. Create a visual illusion the size of a small area is a 3. Medium area is a 4. I'm going to say this is a level 4 effect.
Ooh.
So it'll
It's worth
cost
it, right?
so it'll cost 4 sorcery points.
Okay. But it's deception though? It's like an illusion?
Yes, so this is
Oh,
gray.
It's
Yep,
gray.
so,
Cool.
So it's going
Perfect.
to so its base cost is 4 sorcery. The level of an effect adds to your venture. So your venture is at a 4. You have the option, because this is gray magic, you can either have it still be a level 4 effect but cost 3 sorcery points, or it can cost the 4 sorcery points and add 5 to your venture.
Well,
You're probably better off with the latter,
okay. I'll do
because
that.
it ups your probability of being successful.
I'll do that.
Yeah, and you've got lots of refreshes, so you can, when you pool down your sorcery, you can just take an action to refresh that pool. Okay, so it's going to be a venture of 5. You can spend additional sorcery, and you're going to be rolling 2 dice. And if you wanted, you can spend Bene from the sortilege pool to roll the 3rd dice. You can almost always do that, which is pumping magical energy into any action you do. You just increase the probability of success, but you also increase the probability of flux.
So, I don't know what that all means, but let's do the sortilege thing.
Okay. All right, so you've got a
Let's
venture of
increase
5.
probability of flux. I don't know.
You've got a venture of 5, and you're rolling 3
Sounds fun.
dice.
Okay. Here we go. I don't know what I'm trying to achieve here, like with numbers and such. There's a 9, a 4, and an 8.
Okay, so I think all 3 of those succeed. So
Okay.
So you succeed, and basically you sort of weave all these bits of shadow together, wisps of gray that sort of just blend over your features and make you all kind of appear generally indistinct and like non-threatening. So the wolf spotter seems to be ignoring you at the moment and has gone back to just being interested in the wrong cat.
Okay.
Key.
We have a plan. We would like to summon a friend of ours to guard.
Okay. So summoning takes a little while to do.
Okay.
But we can often assume that you might have been prepared for such an eventuality and may have done so beforehand.
Okay. What would that look like? Just saying so, or does that cost anything?
Yeah, we'll just, because it's more interesting to let you do a goetic thing. You just happen to feel that, maybe it was a good idea.
A summoning symbol sort of carved into the palm of our left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we grab the bottle that we have been sipping on and crush it. Sort of a way to release that energy. So
perfect. All right.
And sort of just tighten the grip around that those glass shards.
And what level are you summoning?
Let's do a level 3.
I think that's your max. I think.
Yep, that is my max.
Rank 1 goetic. Okay.
Yep.
And what type of? So you're going to get them to do guard.
Guard. Yes.
And what type of colloquy are you going to use? Persuasion, bribery, coercion. Demons, if it's a demon, are pretty. They like bribery.
Yeah. So gift, supplication, or prid quo quo.
Yeah.
The
simple demons of the red love things like raw meat.
So I would offer to purchase a meal afterwards. I think is sort of
You're like help now, food later.
Yes.
All
And I'm
right.
thinking it's this like bat leathery, like large winged thing that sort of has these like very thin but sort of just taut things that come out from the sides, sort of in like
Okay.
a defense fashion.
Yep.
That's okay.
Sure. So we'll just assume you're gonna spend crystal equivalent to like a level appropriate bribe. So you are going to be making a interaction roll here. So you're gonna spend the 3 sorcery,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna make this interaction roll.
Okay. And is that just one dice?
So you can, yeah. So you're just rolling. Your target's a 3 because it's a level 3 demon. And you can spend Bene from your interaction if you've got relevant skills.
That's just a 6, so
You're good.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, this leathery bat-like demon that you had previously like worked out an arrangement with, just you had a little foresight. Maybe I need it today. Like looms up over you with its wings, like kind of wrapped around you, just gently rustling against you as it stands over you in guard.
I'm being swaddled by a demon. Hell yes.
Swaddled by a demon. All right. What about Key? Yes.
Sorry. So I don't even want to get up off the couch. I just want to sort of, oh dear, just swipe down my hand, and these little dancing flames that just gently caress along my skin just sort of flick off over towards the table. And I want to do my elemental scar spell, which is a level 3, and it's fire, because fire is my friend. We get along very well.
Friend. All right. So elemental scar. Okay, so you're gonna spend 3 sorcery.
Yes.
So your venture is gonna be 3. You can spend an additional sorcery if you want to bump it up. One more, or you can spend Bene from accuracy.
Do I get an additional one from the soothe card? Because I'm mysterious?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes it 4. And then
so
I
that
can
makes
spend...
it 4. You can spend a Bene from accuracy if you want.
Okay. I don't have very many of those, but sure, why not? So that makes it +5.
So that makes it +5.
All right. And then my combative caster is just damage, right? That doesn't affect my venture.
Yes, that bumps up your damage.
All right. And I roll 3 dice because it's a level 3?
No.
2.
That gets factored into your venture.
Okay.
You're rolling 2 dice because you're using magic, so that always adds a second dice.
Okay. That's a 0. So that's a 10, actually, I think. And a 1. No, so it's a 0. So that's a 1.
So the dice go from 0 to 9. So one of them you rolled a 0, and what did you roll on the second one?
A 1.
A 1.
Ouch.
So a 1 plus the 5 is still not enough. And you trigger magical flux.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
This is what I get for trying to be nonchalant.
Yeah. Shit's about to get real.
All right. Oh, this is perfect. So there's like a little console table like in behind the couch that's got like plants and stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
They all catch on fire. So as you go to like hurl this bolt of flame, it just sparks and fizzles, but one of the embers like goes behind you, and all of the plants just like erupt into flame. And like Gunther is like behind the counter. He's like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no."
Sorry.
Boy.
The spider continues to attack Mrs. Kilgrass. and is like whacking the wrong cat, who's like desperately clawing at it with its person hands, and biting, and you can see like venom squirting out from the wrong cat's mouth, but it doesn't seem to be having any effect on the table. All right. And Gunther's like pouring water into a thing to like go in and throw it on the burning plants. All right, Nigel, what are you doing?
Hey, quick point of order. So in order for the spell not to leave my mind, I have to spend an extra sorcery? Is that how it works?
So you have your choice. You can not spend the sorcery cost and lose the spell out of your mind, or spend the sorcery cost and keep it.
Oh, okay. It's not extra. It's just either or. Okay.
That's
so
right.
I'm gonna do it.
Play a new Sooth. No, I forgot. We got to play a new Sooth card.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, every round.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
So we've played the Crowded Tomb.
see.
Pale magic, which is death, is enhanced. Green is reduced, and the family is secrets.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not me.
Not
mystery.
us either.
All right, sorry. So what are you doing, Nigel?
Sorry.
That's all right. I only got one good spell for this kind of thing, and I don't want to use anything else. So I'm gonna flick another bolt with sorrow at it.
Okay.
So it's a +3 to my venture.
That's right.
All right. I'm gonna spend. Oh god, I'm insane. I'm gonna spend 1 swordage.
Okay, so you're gonna be rolling 3 dice.
All right, here we go. So I got that one. I got that one. Where's my other one? I'll just use that one. All right, 7 was the highest, so there's no zeros. So yeah,
that absolutely succeeds.
I'm just gonna be like, hey, get off that cat! It owns this establishment.
What kind? How much damage does it do again?
2, I believe.
I think so.
Second level spell. So
yeah.
What does the +1 die thing mean in parentheses?
It's just a reminder. So whenever you do something magic and you need to roll dice, you're always going to be rolling an extra die. Why some of them say that is because a lot of magic you don't necessarily need to roll anything. It just works. So if it says +1 die, it's just a little hint that you probably need to roll dice when you use this spell.
All right, nice, thank you. So yeah, two damage.
Okay.
That's what's up.
All right. So it's now sustained enough injuries that it has sustained a wound. All right. Sweet Ski Talsarina. And by the way, because we didn't really talk about it beforehand, if any of you wants to decide I want a weapon,
I was gonna ask about that.
A sword,
because I ain't got
a
shit
gun,
for combat, so
that sort of thing, you can totally have one. We'll work out the money bit of it later, but there's basically your weapons come in light, medium, or heavy, and that determines how much damage they do, and they have a level associated with it. And I've got a list of some general stuff here.
Do I know if something like silver is better against creatures like this or something?
No, doesn't seem to be any that kind of interaction. But it is a magical effect. So you pretty much need magic to do anything to it.
Silver is one of the qualities of moonlight.
It is.
So that's why I was wondering. I want to hopefully weave the destruction element of freedom with,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking either illumination or silver from moonlight.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, destruction and silver. So silver is also, it's interesting because silver is the color of creation, as well. Um, for the aggregates here.
Could just cause like a ray of moonlight to damage it or blind it or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, yeah, destruction and, I mean, like destruction and night could even work, right? Like crushing blackness, darkness.
Yeah.
Silver, like a silver spike. Yeah, any of those kinds of things all sound good.
Cool. I've only got 2 sorcery left, so let's keep it simple.
So you're probably going to be limited to a level 2 effect, or level 1, but probably level 2 is good.
Okay.
Because a level 2 effect, you can inflict 2 damage with that.
Let's try that.
Okay, so spend 2 sorcery points.
Yes, and I think, let's see, if all I'm going to be doing is inflicting damage, I think what's fun is, oh, do I want to do like a moonbeam, or do I want like my hand to grow into like silver talons and just rake it?
I like both of those.
I do
Yeah,
too.
why not both? Porque los dos?
Okay, so my hand grows these like into these like silver, long, treacherous looking talons that emit like a almost like a glisten of moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
For flavor, does that work?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just reach my hand back to rake it across this spider creature. So
Excellent.
was this
All right,
something where I can also spend a sortilege again?
So yeah, so your venture's at 2 because it's a level 2 effect.
Okay.
You can spend a bene from accuracy to make that a venture of 3.
Sure.
You're trying to hit it, and you're gonna be rolling 2 dice anyway because you're using magic. If you want to spend sortilege as well to roll 3 dice, you can totally do that.
I think I'll just stick with spending the accuracy.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. I got in the way. Okay, so I have a 5 and a 6.
Okay. So you lash into it with your silvered talons. And the table gets like sort of shredded, and then is like looking around very confused for a table. Key and sweets?
Because we still seem like not enemies, right?
That's true. That's still in effect.
Oh, good.
We aren't necessarily built for combat situations, so I'm going to pull out my trusty 6-shooter and just sort of peek out from behind these wings.
Oh, actually, sorry. The looking innocent wore off because the default duration for both Freedom and Moonlight is 1 round.
Ah, okay.
So we do not look innocent anymore.
Whoops.
you do
Well,
not.
me with my silver talons, of course not. Not anymore.
No.
Not as such, no.
All right, so pistol.
Mhm.
So you can have
If
a
that's
pistol.
allowed.
Absolutely. So Saturnine has like a 1920s-ish sort of vibe to
Yeah.
it, like in style,
Yeah.
plus surreal. So 35 crystal orbs for a pistol, which is a level 4 item. So the level of the weapon adds to your venture.
Okay.
And it is a medium weapon. It does 4 points of damage.
Okay. And then can I use accuracy or something for to
Absolutely,
assist?
you can spend accuracy.
So is that 2 dice?
So accuracy adds to your venture.
Okay, so just 1.
So that adds a +1 to your venture. If you want to roll extra dice, you can spend sortilege. So you can basically channel some of your just
why not?
innate magic into your gunshot.
Yeah, of course I'm going to do that. That's a 9. So
Okay.
didn't need the accuracy. So that was just 1 dice. Yeah, then 3 on the other. So
The good thing is, so because it does 4 damage, and it was pretty close to going from an injury to a wound as it was, you did 2 wounds of damage. So you just drew a dead-eye shot, channeled this magical energy into the bullet, and blew a giant hole through the middle of the table, which then, like, the extra legs just, like, fall off, and the table collapses to the ground.
we carry that for situations such as this.
I put my fingers in my ears like, oh, son of a, when did you get a gun? What the kind of self-respecting Vislae carries a gun?
I just want to be sort of pulling the fire off of the plants.
Yeah.
Scooping it back up.
It's fine. Sorry.
So like a round in is a little bit longer than a D&D round. It's about like 10 seconds or so. So yeah, the plants basically like 20 seconds of burning. So they're charred to
Sorry.
black crisps. And Gunter is just like, oh, it's okay.
Oh, I'm not apologizing to you.
Of course. Never apologizing to the thought form.
I'm sorry about the plants, Key, but we could get new ones in here afterwards. I bet you tell Serena could like grow some out of her fingers or something.
I'm a little bit exhausted at the moment, but later maybe.
So is my demon still here? Sorry, I'm just curious about that process too.
Yeah. So it was guarding you. It'll hang around for a while.
Yeah, I think I get an hour
Yeah.
of it just hanging out, just being my wingman.
So now the demon is like, guard done. Food? Hungry.
We did promise food, so Gunther, usual stores, please.
Oh, I'll have the cook conjure it up.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, because meat is generally cruelty free in the actuality. It is magically conjured. Actually, pretty much all food is magically conjured. So chefs are all true artists of the magic of cooking. Or there are some animals that just like voluntarily give up bits of their selves to be consumed, which is weird. Anyway,
Nigel, we do have a friend in our midst. If you would like to inquire about something that we had discussed previously, maybe if you would like a wing.
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna speak to the demon using my demon language.
mortal.
Yeah, I'm mortal. You a demon?
Yes.
We pulled you from the red because I need a little help.
You're a little short-handed.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. Alas took my arm, did me wrong, and I was thinking maybe
Kill her.
Well, she's quite powerful, and so will her friends. We'll get there. We're gonna kill him. Everyone wants me to kill him. We're gonna kill him, all right? Just give me a little bit. I need my arm back before I go toe to toe with a bad mamma jamma like Alice.
Is Nigel angry when he's saying this?
Yes.
Yeah. The demon is like sitting there and like practically quivering and salivating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
boy.
Ember. Yes.
So I figure maybe there's someone that either you or your boss's boss that is a demon needs done in. And I could take like their scrap parts and get me a new arm. You know what I'm saying? Want me a demon arm.
Demon on demon violence? No.
You tell me it never happened.
Maybe, but I don't know. There's a behind you.
Oh, Miss Kilgraff, how are you?
Cat Dan, best Dan.
So good.
But then Mrs. Kilgrass sort of sits back on her back haunches and like yawns, and her mouth keeps stretching and stretching and stretching, and she reaches up with her little human hands and like pulls with like an audible crack and starts peeling off the wrong cat suit.
Yes.
And then sort of sheds it, and there is a diminutive, like still sort of cat sized, dusky, like onyx colored, vaguely feminine humanoid shaped creature. Its head is smooth and sort of featureless, and it has long fingers, and all of its limbs have just too many joints. So, instead of one elbow, each arm has like 3 elbows.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing.
And instead of 2 knuckles per finger, there's like 4. And it probably has like 2 hips, so it bends very unnaturally. And she sort of like flicks off the remnants of flesh that was clinging to her, and sort of picks it off, and just sort of like scampers up onto one of the chairs, and then sits on it kind of cross-legged and leans forward, tapping one abnormally articulated finger, and says, "So, you're looking for an arm?"
I really am, love. I need me a demon arm. I fucking love demons. I think they're beautiful.
Oh, of course. Am I not glorious?
You are everything and more.
Hey.
She sort of
Sweet's getting jealous.
looks over at Sweet, and you're pretty sure, despite there being like no features on the face, that she winks at you.
We wink back.
I am Mrs. Kilgrath.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
She kind of like looks down herself and sees that she's like small and sort of seated, like, she's just still cat-sized, seated on the chair, and says, "Oh, this won't do," and sort of like starts stretching, and sort of like Gumby like sort of stretches out, and she sort of like reaches down and like pulls at herself to like rearrange her dimensions, and then sort of fussing with her body until she's like normal human sized, still like onyx featureless face, and a nice double-breasted pinstriped suit.
Do you know where I can get me a demon arm?
Oh. Of course.
Where
Do you mind if it's from the dark or the red?
the darker the red, the sweeter the juice.
It's a little easier to come by arms from the red. And I'm more apt to not care about their previous owners.
Good, good.
You could, of course. There's a vendor in the undersling that sells spare parts. His shop is known as the Meat Market. It's caters to clientele such as yourself who can't. She sort of taps the end of the cigarette. Can't quite afford the changeries. It's a back alley supplier, as it were.
All my favorite memories were made in back alleys, love.
So, if that's the going rate, demon arm, 150, 200 crystal orbs. Last I checked.
Don't mind me, just searching for my money. You know, I think I'm a little tight on crystal orbs right now. Got a little bit on me. Is there any way I can work it off?
Do a little favor trading?
We might remind you that we assisted in your prevention of demise, the lot of us. So,
Yes, your little infestation there.
Yeah, well, spidering, unfortunate. Really only would have damaged my temporary flesh suit, though.
Did kill some of her plants, so that might.
We really shouldn't mention that, Key.
Oh, that's quite all right, Key. I do appreciate the attempt. Fire is so delicious after all. If only it were cold instead of hot.
It wouldn't be as fun then.
Well, I do like the chill embrace of the void.
So,
we do as well.
You were looking for a favor you could perhaps do?
yeah, but you know, consider we got rid of a nasty virus in your shop. But yeah, we'll do you, well, at least I'll do you a favor. And maybe my friends will come help me. They did say they'd help me getting on.
Well, there is a particular angel hiding out in the undersling, as it happens, evading a sentence at the Pinion Court. I would rather like it if it was to meet justice.
That can be arranged.
I mean, this angel is accused of murder. 2 murders.
We don't even need this to be a favor.
Can I ask? Murders of whom?
Oh, some fellow citizens here in Satyrine.
And you simply said accused, not.
Oh, well, of course, this angel will be tried in front of the Pinion Court and punished if found guilty.
You do not wish us to sentence
No.
the angel. You wish us to capture them.
Yes, let the gears of justice grind their way through. I would not wish to subvert the rule of law here in Satyrine, after all.
So we just make sure the Pena Court comes to the right decision then, is that what you're saying?
Well, and finds this angel. They're having a devilish time. It seems this angel had the smart idea that hiding close to the Pinion Court was a good way not to be found.
Well,
The court is in the Undersling, after all.
right. So we need to find this angel and bring him to justice. Well,
That's
not
right.
only we be doing you a favor, we'd be doing the right thing.
Of
We'd
course.
We'd be heroes.
Fine,
Tasty.
upstanding citizens of Satyrine.
Oh, yeah.
This is quite, as they say, sweet.
Oh, indeed. One could even say, deliciously served justice.
Oh.
And I'm sure there's a hefty reward. Why, surely enough crystals to take care of this little arm purchase of yours.
Yeah. Plenty of crystals. And maybe even a mage coin each.
Oh, I think I could rustle up a few of those. Or some demon tears, one or the other.
Oh, that sounds even better.
We could drink to that. Key, are you in this endeavor?
I'm quite comfortable with a bit of vigilantism, but we're not murdering this individual. We will see them brought to justice. We will not inflict our own.
Unless they struggle.
Unless there's no other alternative.
Indeed.
All right.
Tell Serena.
Yeah.
Let's just go get Nigel an arm.
We'll drink to that.
So we have a pact, then.
Nigel, perhaps this is when we make sure that we can unpack them.
Yeah.
I have a skill in seeing through deception. Would that be important here?
You absolutely
I just
can.
feel like that might be important at this moment.
You absolutely can. So this would be if you're trying to discern their intentions, and of course, all of you can attempt this if you want. So seeing through deceptions or discerning motives would be an applicable skill. Your level adds to the venture, so for most of you that would be a level 1 skill. So it'd be a venture of 1. You don't know the target, but given this is a demon of the dark who just unpeeled itself out of a wrong cat, you can guess high. So probably around 10 plus or minus. It might actually be higher than 10.
Okay.
So you would have 1 from that venture. You can spend any bene you might have from your interaction pool. If your pool happens to be low, you can use an action to just refresh a pool.
I have 4 interaction. Is there a limit I can spend? Or
You
if I
can
just
currently only spend 1. There's
Yeah, that's what I
character
thought.
secrets that you can buy later called Expansive Endeavor that lets you spend more than 1 bene.
Okay.
Matthew, hand raised at the back of the room.
Yeah, does the introduction of this NPC trigger a sooth?
That's what I was going
That-
to ask, yeah.
Thank you for the reminder. This is one of these things where I still like it. I get so locked in that I.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
of
forget.
course.
no harm, no foul.
Did we lose Anders? We lose him.
back.
He looks frozen. He looks
possibly.
frozen.
He
Looks
does.
frozen.
No.
Oh,
He's
there, we go.
back.
There was some dance moves there. There we are.
Sorry.
No problem. So we're just playing a new Sooth
Welcome
card here.
back. So,
Incriminating Skull.
Oh.
Gold magic is enhanced. Silver is hindered. The family is secrets. Animal is ravens. Object is books. Meaning disaster, discovery, evidence, connections, friend, and family.
Well then.
Something that should have remained game narrative. Something that should have remained hidden becomes evident. A friendly NPC, particularly one with a bond, makes an appearance, or something happens that suggests a connection with them. Joy, the PC makes a new friend or reconnects with an old one.
We might be an old friend.
I think that's
Someone in us might be.
Might be
Disturbing.
making a new one.
Well, I think that was disturbingly appropriate in general
Yes.
for what?
Yep.
Absolutely.
There ain't no coincidences in the actuality, love.
No coincidences in the actuality, and the Sooth cards never lie. So yes, you can spend Bene from your interaction, and you can spend Sortilege to roll an extra dice.
Okay, so I will do that. So that's 2 dice. That is a 7 and a 3.
7 and a 3, so 7 plus 2.
Yeah.
So for 9, okay. And Talserina, were you also
Yes,
assessing?
I have understanding people's motives.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would like to do that.
Okay.
Try
So the same thing.
try to understand.
Yeah, and the good thing, the way that skills work in Invisible Sun is like most things you can basically attempt whether you have the skill or not, and basically consider difficulty challenges in the range of 1 to 10 as things that normal humans can do. So like things that are a 10, like a regular untrained person could do it, but it's only like a 10% chance of success, right? So that's like Olympic level athlete performance is, a long jump, say, is a 10. So you could try it as yourself and, maybe it works, right? But probably not. Or no, sorry. 1 to 10 is yeah. Olympic level is when you get that like 12, 13, like you really have to have some skills and you got to spend some Bene to like do it pretty consistently. So you can always try anything, and then just if you have a skill that seems to apply, you can use it. In rare circumstances, you might even be able to apply 2 skills.
Since we didn't really determine my shadow skill, would something like searching be good for that? Or I think searching was a skill that existed.
Searching's a skill that exists. Searching to me would be more like searching through things like physically
searching. We can figure it out later.
It could be something like investigation. Maybe she was a cop or something in Shadow.
We can decide. We could decide that later. Sorry.
Park ranger.
Or park ranger.
So I have understanding of people's motives.
Mm-hmm. You can spend a Bene from interaction.
From interaction, okay. I will do that. And now does the card itself doesn't do me anything if my family isn't the same?
That's right. Not in this case. Yeah.
Okay. So I roll.
So you're adding a 2?
1 die or.
So if you want to also spend a sortilege, you can roll a second dice.
I'll do that. Why not? Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, that's cocked. But one of them is an 8. Okay, so an 8
would be a
on the
10
die.
total.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Sweets and Telserina, both of you think that that Mrs. Kilgrath is not being deceptive, but as a demon of the dark, she's not telling you any like her motive of like just wanting justice done. That's total horse shit.
Right.
So you want to make a pact, is it?
Oh, of course. I mean, never engage in something without a contract, right?
No, of course not.
We wouldn't venture that you have any personal interest in this, would you, Miss Kilgrass?
Oh, none whatsoever.
There wouldn't be anything in this for you that we could assist with that might increase our profits or something of that nature.
Oh, in this particular case, I think probably not. Not that I can think of.
If you're certain, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course. And when you asked if, and she said no to it being personal, she was not being deceptive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, she's a demon of the dark. Angels are creatures of the legacy.
Yeah.
They don't like one another. So the only good angel's a dead angel.
But I'm on my lost mine. I'll get back, so it's my deal to make. All right, just me and you.
Standard contract.
Yeah.
Slides it across.
I'm gonna pick up like a knife or anything, whatever is on the table, slice my hand, and put my hand on the contract.
Boof. Yeah, and it like flares, and she sort of shudders a little bit and takes it, and then rolls up the contract and shoves it in her mouth and swallows it.
Nigel, darling, you're supposed to read those before you.
Oh, Nigel here. He has a thing for things like me. Don't you, dear?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it doesn't really take any sort of deduction of note to figure that one out.
No, it's a little obvious. She leans forward and like pats him on the knee.
I'll say, I also know a great deal about contracts, law, and knowledge. She say standard agreement. I know what that means, and I accept all the risks.
Excellent. Of course. Well, it's a real pleasure doing business with you, Vislae. I do hope you continue to frequent my little establishment.
It's our favorite place. We're always going to be here.
And we can just consider this secret between us.
All right.
We might inquire about some sort of recompense for energy spent in dispatching this enemy.
How about the friends and family discount?
I like that.
Works for us, darling.
Free coffee.
We drink stiffer things than coffee, but
flavoring is included.
Well, all right. I got one missing arm, and the other's been cut up, so we're doing great.
Excellent.
Doing great.
And Mrs. Kilgrath pushes herself up and like collects the sort of like scraps of flesh suit and sort of starts sticking them back together. It's like rubbing them in her hands and then sort of like flips it out and shakes it, and it's like it's
Perfection.
an empty skin of a wrong cat, and just like stitched it back together. Yes,
Could
Keith.
I borrow that?
my suit.
Yes, it's very interesting.
I was gonna put it back on.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Poor Key.
If you would like to, if you have an interest in learning how to make one, that could be arranged.
Learning how to make things is my favorite thing to learn.
Excellent. Well, perhaps after you complete this little job, we can talk about an apprenticeship program.
I like that.
Oh, I think you would. I know how to make a great many things. And I do so love my creations being birthed into the world.
Oh, so do I.
I think we'll get along smashingly.
We should go kill this angel now.
Key.
That fall
might
from grace
inquire
is
you-
real fast.
Might inquire that you take associates' inclinations and dealings at a face value. There's always something underneath.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Kilgrath is like in the corner with like the mouth of the wrong cat like open and puddled on the floor, and is like
She's like putting it on
wriggling.
like a dress, just like
She's like
slapping it
wriggling,
on.
but she's shrinking as she puts it on to like fit into it. Until eventually, with a lot of stretching and sort of at first, when she has the suit back on, she's kind of lumpy, like doesn't look right because it's, you know, like when you put on a tight sweater, and so then she has to like adjust it all back into place.
I want to learn how to do that.
So we're gonna go to the undersling then. It's hide near the opinion court. I need to go just clean my wound, and then we can go into the undersling, okay?
I need to refresh my sorcery pool before we go to
Just
do
an-
that.
It's just an action.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can just
cool.
take an action, and so you just mark off one of your recoveries, or
Okay.
you can use these in any order. So he's going to be gone for a little bit. The smart thing
Oh.
to do would be to use like the 10-minute, or if he's going to be an hour, you guys could take the time and you could spend the 1 hour one. You don't have to do them in escalating order.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
neat.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Monty
It's a-
Cook, you're a genius.
Monty
Mhm.
Cook
Right.
is a genius.
We love you, Monty Cook.
Thank you
Dude's
once
been
again, Monty Cook Games.
Hey, dude's been entertaining me for like 20 years.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the bathroom and wrap my hand with my teeth. I only got one on, so I'm just kind of like tearing like a piece of my shirt, and I'm like slowly but surely wrapping it as I look up into the mirror. And I stare at my reflection, which is slightly off.
hmm
I'm gonna kind of like wipe the blood on the mirror. Oh, as I try to bandage it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stare at the mirror, this off reflection, for a really long time, and I'm going to kind of almost accidentally cast the other reflection as the real you.
All right.
I'm gonna say to it, "Are you there?" I'm gonna kind of touch it, and I feel like as I do, the mirror kind of becomes like a quicksilver-like substance that I kind of have to pull my hand back from.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the real me for the first time.
Yeah. So you sort of like merge, and everything sort of like shifts and is very freaky. Everything's like kind of doubled in your perception.
I'll just kind of patch myself up, and now that I am the real me, so to speak, I'll just kind of open the door with my own good arm.
Yeah, for anyone, if anyone had been around to see this, had it been a fly on the wall, perhaps, they would have seen when you touched the mirror that the silver sort of, the mirrored hand also, touched your hand, and then the silver flowed out of the mirror and over your body and sort of shifted a little bit and then sort of cracked and the glass like fell away.
Yeah.
But then as it hit the ground, it sort of just turned into smoke and disappeared.
Yeah. And the thing left inside the mirror is the wrong me. It's the false me.
And it's banging on the mirror.
I just say, goodbye, love. And I walk out.
And the reflection disappears.
Wait, so the one in the reflection's the one that made the contract, right?
Oh.
Oh, so good.
All right. And because we want to leave a few minutes for our wrap up and then kick people over to Critical Role if they're staying up and watching it, that is where we will end for the night. It is a fortuitous place. So thank you everyone who hung out and watched. You were all great in chat. As always, we love having you in here when we're playing Invisible Sun. And thanks to you fine players, all of whom, except for Matthew, have never played this before. And I think they all did excellent and leaned into the themes and tones and style of Invisible Sun. And we loved it. So yeah, here on Thursday nights at this time slot, we will be continuing to run MCG Mixtape. It will primarily be a mix of Invisible Sun games like this that will have a rotating and expanding pool of players as we try and introduce as many people as possible to this game we love. So if you're hanging out in chat or watching this later on a VOD or on YouTube, if you're interested in Invisible Sun, you want to play, follow Variant Roles on Twitter, send us a message, we'll get you in a game. As long as you're not, an asshole, basically. If you're a cool person, you can come on and play. And we will be back with returning cast and characters, and it's very much an anthology series. When it's not Invisible Sun, it will be Bleeding Edge using Cypher System, which plays very similarly, but that's my transhumanist sci-fi setting. And occasionally we will see as we get going, we may feature other things, Numenera, The Strange, No Thank You Evil, whatever catches our fancy from Monty Cook games. So often on Invisible Sun we do character recaps on things that gain joy and despair and acumen. In this case, we just wanted to do a basic introduction to the system for all these new players, so we'll talk about that offline in our Discord. But I will have people go around, remind us, who you are, and if you've got anything to shout out and promote, and your favorite part of the game, which has become a standard thanks to, I think Eugenio started that in Dragon Heist.
Did. Yep.
And I love it, and so I've shamelessly stolen it, and it's become sort of a standard on all of our games here at Variant Roles, and I think it's great. Gives us some feedback on things people like. And so we can do them more, which is why I keep throwing things with tentacles and sexy demons and stuff at characters, because people keep telling me they like it. So let's do it in the reverse order, and we'll start with Anders.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Anders. You can find me on Twitter at Anders_D_K. I would normally plug my other channel, but we're kind of on a bit of a break, so I'm just gonna but you can find me on Twitter. I'm always around. I don't have a life, and I like to talk to people. my favorite moment was my cat jumped on the table, and then my cat was a character in the game, and then the cat became a demon, and it was great. It was fun.
We like feeding off of the real world, or should I say, we like feeding off of the lies that the Grey tells us and translating it into the truth of the actuality.
I loved it. It was great.
Oh, I just got why Grey magic is illusion magic, because the Grey is false.
The Grey is false.
My brain just connected.
The shadow cast by the invisible sun.
This game in general is really, really cool. So thank you for letting me play it.
Absolutely, and we'll be happy to have you back again. Matthew.
Hey, that's me. I'm Matthew Foreman. You can find me at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter, where I am wonderful, if I may say so myself.
You are a true treasure to Twitter.
Thank you. I am here a lot because I love variant roles, and I also am on a channel called Dice Priority where I run a bunch of shows and play in others, and it's just a good time. So follow me on Twitter. Check out Dice Priority. That's my life. My favorite moment. Oh, there were so many. I've been like waiting to do the mirror Quicksilver scene. And I was really wanting it to be like a collaborative description thing, so that made me really happy.
Yes.
Not to be selfish, but I loved it.
Excellent. I loved it as well. And I love this game is very player driven. So like, this one was a little bit more me driven than is normal for Invisible Sun. As we settle in, it'll become much more player driven. Although actually a lot of it was driven by Nigel's character arc. Because he's had a session previously. And I find the game really encourages like leaning into like giving a lot of narrative control over to players.
Yeah.
Just the idea I become more reactive, which is good. All right. Alexis.
I am Alexis. You can find me on Twitter at VoxFinato. I am also part of Dice Priority. It is also my life. I put a lot of hours into it, and it is a true labor of love. I love all of what we're doing over there. I do an art stream tomorrow, 4 p.m., and I'm working on a DM screen right now. So hopefully my wood burner replacement cord is going to be here by tomorrow. Fingers crossed. But I'll be doing some wood burning, or if not, some sketching on another wood panel for the DM screen I'm making. And we do Dragon Heisters on Tuesday, which is we're a bunch of garbage liars, and our main show is on Wednesday, Ghost in the Machine, and it's run by Matthew, and it's just so much fun. I love all of it, and I'm here as much as I can be. I loved Invisible Sun. I loved being able to play it. It was so great. And probably my favorite moment, boy, I really loved the mirror scene with Nigel. I also really loved being able to like run that deception and those like silver talons. Loved all of it. All of it. So
absolutely. Good. Yes, I loved all that. Weavers are fun. Weavers are a lot of fun. All right, Taryn.
Yeah, I'm Taryn. You can find me on Twitter at Tarzan No Z, because that's how you spell my name. And then you can pretty much just find me here on Variant Roles doing various things, Dungeons and Dragons games. But primarily you can find me on Sundays actually with our lovely Matthew Foreman, as well playing some Urban Shadows. Do you know what darkness cost? As we explore the underworld and the sort of supernatural that exists there. But yeah, that's Sundays at 7 Central. We are back. We have our whole cast this week. I'm really excited to see how everyone deals with the antagonist that I have presented to them. But yeah, so that's mainly where you can find me. Yeah, just plugging Variant Roles stuff, but it's my life.
Excellent, great.
Well, favorite moment.
Yes.
Baby's first demon. So
baby's first demon.
So good.
Yeah, summoning my guard. Just and then offering him up to Nigel is basically an offer.
Here,
like,
take his wing.
I got what I wanted out of him. You can have him now.
I'm done. Have my leftovers.
Yep.
Excellent.
So-
Yes, I'm Dan at MadSideEM. You can mostly find me here on Variant Roles. I'm doing this on Thursday nights, and the other Invisible Sun game, As the Suns Burn, on Saturday nights. And occasionally some of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage stuff. But there I'm mostly running tech and behind the scenes and organizing and herding cats and all that sort of thing. And occasionally I get to pop in and play something and, do a guest shot if, people invite me to a game, then I'm happy to do so when it frees up. But yes, otherwise I'm here running this, and I'll kick us over in a minute because I see that Matt Mercer just came on screen. My favorite moment, so many, because you were all fantastic. I have to say, Sweet's practically vibrating and groaning during the conversation and negotiation was epic, and I loved it.
Amazing.
We just got really excited about going after an angel because that is the arc that I have sort of emanating behind the scenes. So
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for sticking around. We love you all. I'm going to kick us over to the end screen, and then I'm going to host CR. So if you want to stick around and hang out in a chat that doesn't go 30 miles an hour, you can hang out here. So see everybody, and to steal something. Is it Thursday yet? Bye.